Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the licensing licensing subcommittee meeting for the 24th of February at 10 a.m. Details of the business today is shown on the agenda, copies of which are available in the room. For those intending to speak, you'll only be heard if you press and toggle on and toggle off on your speakers. Okay, we are being broadcast live on our YouTube channel, but only people on this side of the table are being seen. Fire alarm, I'm not expecting a fire alarm, so if it does go off, please leave the way you came in on my right, and we meet outside, is it the Miller's Tap? I think it's the Miller's Tap, which is apt for an licensing hearing. We've got some resident feedback forms at the back, which we don't see, but it helps us take the meeting forward. That's about it. Let's move on to the agenda. Apologies for absence.
No apologies, Chairman.
Any declarations of interest? No interest whatsoever. Okay. Everything is in part one. Any matters that have been notified in advance or urgent? No? Okay, right. I'll give a brief outline on how the meeting is conducted. We'll introduce everybody. Everybody makes their presentation, and if there's any clarifications that we need, the committee will ask that person. Followed by that, there's a discussion through myself, and where we can ask questions of each other. We then break, where we will then deliberate on what's happened. You'll have to leave the room, then we'll call you back when the decision's been made. Okay, everybody understand that? Goody good. Right, if you'd like to introduce yourself first, who we have here.
Stephen Dormer, Licensing Officer, Hillingdon Council.
Press the button.
Tawfiq Ahmed, I came here for Springfield Road.
Okay, I'm going backwards a bit. Let me introduce myself first of all. I'm Councillor Roy Chandal. I'm the Chairman of the Licensing Hearing. Assisting me in making a decision is Councillor Brian Stead and Councillor Janet Gardner. On my right, we have from Legal, Chantel McLeod, who make sure our decisions that we make are legal and just. And on my left is Liz Penny from Democratic Services to ensure that I follow procedure. Right, kick off. Mr. Dormer.
Thank you, Councillor. You've all had the report bundle and are familiar with the salient points of this application. May I take this opportunity to provide a more verbal summary of the application and assist the subcommittee to determine this application for a street trading licence. Over the last several months, it has become apparent that there has been no trading taking place from a catering facility situated along Springfield Road down in the Hayes area. The authority has witnessed absence of any form of trading over a period of almost 9 consecutive months. The facility, as you can see on page 12 and 13, remain a bit of an eyesore and do not enhance the street scene. This is contrary to section 13.4 and 10.7 paragraph D of the Council's adopted policy on street trading. Copies of the street trading policy are available to the committee as an ongoing published document when making a decision on street trading. Applicants should have regard for all relevant sections of the Council's adopted policy, both making an application for a street trading licence or have an ongoing street trading licence. No reasonable excuse has been given to the Council as to why Mr. Ahmed has chosen to abandon this facility and not trade from the proposed location. It is of no doubt that on 4 occasions I have personally witnessed and documented non-trading days on Springfield Road in Hayes. I fully recommend that the committee have faith and regard in the Council's adopted policy based on the appearance and the abandonment of the facility on Springfield Road. Mr. Ahmed is blocking potential other street traders in providing a facility that the local area could be proud of. It is my recommendation that the committee have faith and regard in the clear breach of section 25.6 C of the London Local Authorities Act 1990 that the applicant is an individual who has without reasonable excuse failed personally to avail himself fully of a street trading licence. The committee has also regarded the council's adopted policy and relevant sections set out in the published bundle. This concludes my evidence.
Thank you, Mr. Dormer. Clarification on page 4, point 6.2. You say email exchanges have taken place. Could you tell me how many times you've emailed Mr. Ahmed, please?
I've emailed him on at least 2 occasions. One to send a letter detailing what the problem we have in terms of that he is in breach of the London Local Authorities Act 1990 because he's not been there for a considerable amount of time. And the second one was to inform him that a hearing is going to be taking place, along with a letter stating that that's going to be the case. Also, the letters we have also posted through the normal postal facility.
So how many letters would that be?
There'll be at least 2 letters.
Do you know how many roughly?
2 letters, 2 emails.
Councillors, any clarifications, questions? Clarification questions? Councillor Gardner.
Can you explain what alerted you to go and check the premises out, please?
Based on when we looked at the Skyport Drive application towards the end of last year, it was sort of apparent that we might want to check the other facilities that offer a similar type of street trading in Hillingdon. So we checked all the other pitches, and then we noticed that this one, obviously when we've been passing through that area to and from Hayes or West Drayton, that this facility appeared abandoned, and then that alerted us to have a bit more of a closer look at this particular licence and noticed that it was not trading at all.
You mentioned the word eyesore. Could you expand on that a bit?
Well, from its appearance, it appears just to be almost a bit like a storage container just abandoned on the side of the road. And obviously, if it was trading and and was being operated as a normal catering facility, obviously then it has a purpose for actually being in that vicinity. But the fact that it's remained in its current state for, I can honestly say, for a period of 9 months, suggests it's actually can be treated as an abandoned vehicle.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Stead.
Did you actually have face-to-face meetings with the client?
The only time I've met Mr. Ahmed on a previous occasion was when he submitted the initial application, probably around about 2 or 3 years ago, for a street trading licence. Other than that, I haven't really had much face-to-face contact with him since.
Thank you. Mr. Ahmed, now it's your turn. Do you understand everything that's going on? Yeah, okay, so now is your opportunity to explain, and then we can go through questions after that.
Yeah, good morning for everybody, sir. I did trading there, and for Ramadan time I didn't do, and after that I opened it, and its business was very slow, but I was doing breakfast. There. And then after that, I apply another license. My license was 6 months, and it expired, and I apply again. Then they didn't give me the license. So I talked to Mr. Stephen, and he tell, okay, continue. So I serving breakfast at that time as well. But when I didn't receive it, and he wrote me later as well, okay, you don't have license for this one. So I stopped. Okay, it may be illegal, that one, because they didn't give me license, they didn't give me permission for that one. Before I got permission, so I stopped. And maybe he visited, I am not there, because I don't have permission to do the business.
Is that?
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. You said you didn't operate during. Could you switch your one off? That's it. You said you didn't operate during Ramadan. Could you tell me the dates of these dates?
After Ramadan, I did it as well. But in the Ramadan...
sorry, the question was, could you give me the dates when you didn't open the...
Ramadan, which... in the July. Ramadan was in the July.
So...
And after Ramadan, I did it as well, because my license was...
So, during the month of July 2019, is that correct?
Yes, Ramadan month I didn't do completely.
So, I just need to understand. So, July 2019, you didn't open at all because of Ramadan. And then you said you done breakfast. So what time do you open, and what time do you serve, and what time do you close?
I was doing from 7 o'clock, or sometimes 7:30, and closing about 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Okay. You mentioned something about you didn't get a license. So was it, let me just ask a question so I can understand the answer. So could you give me the dates from when you are saying you didn't have a license to the time you did have a license?
From I apply in the March. March, last year. No. October I applied. March I applied. October I apply, and after that I didn't get it.
So when did your license, are you saying you didn't have permission? So what period of time are we talking about?
After October, when I apply for 6 months, every 6 months I have to renew my license. So after October I apply, I didn't get license.
So you're saying from the times that you didn't open is all of July 2019, and after October 2019 you didn't open, but before then you was open all the time.
After October as well I open it, but I didn't get license. But I talked to Mr. Stephen, and he's telling continue the business, that one. But I didn't get, still I don't have license. But still Mr. Stephen told me continue the business, so I was opening. But Christmas time, Christmas period and New Year period, I didn't do it. Christmas period, I didn't do it completely.
It needs to be, when I push my, you understand the purpose of this hearing. So what we take on board and what you present is what we make our decision on after the discussion. So I need to a bit more precise. So exactly when did you open and when did you exactly close? I need dates. So what time, you said October, you still operated after October. So far all I understand is that you didn't open during the month of July because of Ramadan. Now could you tell me exact dates, and I need exact dates of when you did not open in October, November, December, January 2020.
December time, Christmas period, about 21, 22, that time I close it and open New Year time, after New Year, third, and after third, it was business was very slow, and somebody was selling in the Wix car park as well, sandwiches and something. So business was very slow. So and I don't have license as well. So I said better let me get license and then I will tell them in case I have to open fully. And I email as well. I will do fully after New Year, after January. But I didn't get license, so I didn't do it.
I'm not quite sure I got all the dates here, but councillors, any clarifications on that? No? Okay, right. We now move on to the discussion stage. Now we are allowed to ask each other questions. Come through the chair, please. I will start off first. Mr. Dormer, I'm not quite catching the dates Mr. Ahmed has said quite, but he did mention something about no licence. So could you tell me a bit more about that? Was there a period of time where Mr. Ahmed did not have a street trading licence?
Well, when the street trading licence is renewed, the application comes in. Until the application's been determined, they can run with grace on the previous licence. I arranged to go down, if you look at the page of where the date...
Sorry, the question was, was there a period of time when Mr. Ahmed did not have a street trading licence? That's what I need to know. Yes or no?
No.
So if I get that right, so even though the licence has run out, while it's been determined, the street trader can continue business.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay. Also, Mr. Ahmed has mentioned that he served breakfast between the hours of 7 to 7:30 to 9:30, 10. Were you aware of this? Was this checked on?
Yes, actually that was going to be my next point. I arranged to go and see Mr. Ahmed work in this facility on the 9th of December. My visit was conducted at 8:05 to coincide with this breakfast being served. I arrived there and the facility was closed.
That's right, so that'd be on page 4. So there's a few, that's on that one occasion. Did Mr. Ahmed mention to you at any time that he operated a breakfast?
There was a telephone discussion a few days before my visit on that particular date, and he mentioned that he served breakfast, and I thought, well, that might explain why when I've been going later in the day, it's been closed. But even when I went to when this breakfast was being served, there was no one there serving no breakfast, and that prompted us to then to be at the position we are today.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed, you mentioned that you had no license, but you kept on serving. You now understand that is allowed while the lights. Let me finish first. While the license is pending. Okay. Now, the question Mr. Dormer said is he turned up on the 9th of December at 8:05 and your premises were shut. Could you explain that, please?
Sir, that one I don't know. Okay, so when license is expired, still you continue. I don't know that one.
Okay, that was just a point to say that you wasn't doing it illegally. It is you can still run after that. So the question I asked is, could you tell me why on the 9th of December, when Mr. Dormer visited you at 8:05, that your premises were shut and not open for business?
Maybe occasionally, I don't know, but maybe, I don't know, but regularly I will open it, because he told me, I told him as well, I'm opening for breakfast.
But clearly, on the 9th of December, at 8:05, your premises was closed. So, could you give an explanation for that, please?
9 in December, which day is this one? Because sometime when I do there, and sometime I go to see the doctor. So I don't know what is that 9 December, which day is there, which day. So occasionally, that's I'm telling, that one day, maybe occasionally I close that day. I don't know that one, but mostly, regularly I will opening for breakfast. Still no license, still always opening, because I don't know even after license expire and still you can do the business, continue the business.
So, can you give me any documentation, anything that shows that you've been open, if we say December, because that's the last December, let's start off with December. You're saying you shut from 21-22 until the 3rd of January. Have you got anything to show me that can show that you was actually open all through Christmas, all through December, for example? Have you got anything there?
I didn't bring any paper now with me. I didn't bring.
So that's a no, yeah?
No, yeah, I didn't bring any paper.
Okay, what about January then? Did you, after 3rd of January, tell me your opening hours from 3rd of January onwards on a daily basis? So I need to know 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, etc., etc., etc.
Same breakfast, sir. I was doing same 7:30 till 9:30 or 9 o'clock, about 10 o'clock. There, same. But I didn't do other time.
So how many days in January, February have you closed, not opened at all?
After I did January, and then I sent the letter in this February, the email. Okay, I want to do continuously full time. In the in February time, I sent the email.
So what?
But I don't have.
One sec, switch it off. I understand that point. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but we need to get to the crux of this. So, what are your plans for the future? What I need to know is what days are you going to open, and hours of operation, please.
Anytime when you get license or you give me permission in the writing, because I don't want any trouble without license or anything. I can get trouble.
That's not the question I asked. Please be very clear with the question I asked. Okay? You've already been. Just switch off your speaker, please, sir. Thank you. When I switch one on, I'll finish. I'll switch off. Then you switch your one on. You've already been told that it's not illegal. While your license is pending, you can still operate. Okay? You've been told that. Okay? So you're not doing anything illegal. So what I need to know now is, were you to get the license, what will be your hours of operation? What will be your days of operation, please?
Yes, now, sir. Now I know I can operate without license as well. Now I know. So in my knowledge, I can.
Sorry. You can't operate without license. You've got to operate with a license. What it is, if your license is pending, you can operate. Let's get that very clear. Yeah. Because it has been broadcast live. Yeah, so I am correct in what I'm saying.
That's correct, Chair.
Thank you. Okay. So all I need to know is, what days are you going to open and what hours you open? That's all I need to know now.
7 to 7. 7 to 7. And any day when you tell me, I can, after 2 days, 3 days, I can open. No problem.
So you're going to open from 7 to 7, which is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And what days of the week?
All week.
So you're going to open 7 to 7, and you're going to operate 7 days a week. Okay, so the question I'm going to ask you is, what's stopping you doing it already? Because you're operating a breakfast You said you offer a breakfast menu, but then you close at 10:30. Up to 9:30 to 10. So what are you? What I need to know is how you're going to generate. Because you mentioned some other competitor, which is not part of this hearing, but I need to know how viable, how are you going to be operating from 7 to 7 for 7 days a week, operating this business when you said business is slow, that's why you shut. You made a business decision, I understand, that you're only going to do a breakfast. So could you just explain that to me in the committee, how you're going to run your business?
Because Christmas time and January time, mostly business is slow. Plus, the person was doing in the beginning of Christmas, he was doing in the Wix car park, that one. So that's why business was slow. Now is business is normal, coming normal. After January, business coming normal. So I can do that one. Is not that problem.
Okay, councillors, any questions? Councillor Stead.
Thank you, Chairman. Is this a one-man business, or are there several people to help you out?
Sir, I will do alone, but their condition is have to assistant. It have to assistant, but I can't afford assistant. I can afford assistant work for me, or I am not working. One person is enough, can run business, but is 2 person for me is good, me and my assistant. So that's another problem as well for me.
Councillor Gardner.
On your trailer, you've got adverts for the tile showroom. Do they pay you for the adverts?
Yeah, so 2 times, 3 times I take out. But I don't know, when I'm not doing business, they will put in the night time. And when I go there, I will put down there. I don't take anything. I don't know even these people.
Anything else, councillors? Okay, just so I understand this. So somebody is, when you are open, do they put this tiled showroom advertisement up on your property? Or only when you're not open?
When I'm going there to do business, I put down there, that one. But when I'm close or anything, I'm not going there in the night time, they put back. So I told them 1 times, 2 times, okay, this is no advertisement place. So it's illegal. But who will listen that one?
So
they didn't take me permission as well.
Right. So I just need to understand this quite clearly. I'm a bit confused. I'm a simple sort of chap. So what you're saying to us is, to the committee, is this advertisement on page 13. Yeah, if you look on the on page 13, that's the one you're referring to, councillor. Yeah. So what you're saying is, they put this up when you're not open. You've spoken to them, and they're still putting this up, and you're not getting paid for this. No. So, and you have spoken to them, okay? Mr. Dormer, on your visits that you've had on 30th of May, 3rd of December, 9th of December, 7th of January, as on page 4, have you noticed that this advert's been up on the trailers? Could you confirm what you know about it, or?
It's always up. Is that advert on all visits?
Thank you very much. Any questions of each other? You can ask questions of each other if you want to. No? Okay then. All right, we're going to move on to closing remarks from each party. Now you give a brief remark, closing remark on what you want to say. So we start off with Stephen first, and then you, Mr. Ahmed.
I've got nothing else further to add, Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Ahmed?
Yes, sir. I'm requesting, give me a trading license, and I will do normal trading. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. What I'd like you to do now is to take all your stuff and leave the room, and then we will discuss it and then come to a decision, and we'll call you back. Okay, thank you.